to Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago, coming from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z. And again, we have to feature the best talent in the world. We got Ivan Vargas from The Tape Never Lies. And we got Stevie B from No Water on the Weekend podcast. And his Taylor Swift loving ass.
Actually, I like the Chiefs, but, you know, I'm just tired of the Bears stuff.
I'm disgusted right now. I mean, it's not because of the Chiefs hat, just because of why you're wearing the Chiefs hat. Just no, I'm over it.
Oh, so am I. I'm wearing it because I'm a Mahomes fan. But yeah.
Okay, all right. Episode 163, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by 606 Media, true Chicago sports fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Get your official shirts now. What's up, boys? I mean, it's been a tremendous
long weekend.
Yeah,
tremendous. I'm hurting. I've been hurting.
Every Chicago team is hurting, and it's like every team in this city has to be wearing a paper bag. It's no longer COVID. You don't have to wear a mask. You have to put a paper bag on. Mm-hmm. And it is disgusting. So first,
I'm gonna put a hefty bag on over my head.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would put a giant bag over. It's been all shit. Everything, all of it. All of it has been crap. I'm just happy to be here to talk about our shitty sports teams with you guys.
No, I agree.
Oh my God. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Bears and how they just literally, it felt like the Super Bowl where you're like, oh, they're up 28-3. That didn't end too well. They let us down. The Cubs, they collapsed in the hunt for Red October.
They did.
Yeah, and then the White Sox set another record, not a good one. And then we'll talk about all that and more, and stirring a pot and what you're looking at the end. So let's just get into it. Let's go. Let's talk Bears football, and we're gonna do that in 3 and out. All right. So again, we do 3 and out. Everyone's gonna get it down, and then we're gonna punt it out. I am gonna start it off with Justin Fields showing out.
Yeah,
coming out party. It finally happened. The playbook was finally open. What he did in the first half, going 16 for 17, and that one incompletion was the Hail Mary. So it's hard to count that. But I think he threw for over 300 yards and just a couple touchdowns, just a little bit here and there. But the offense did look alive, and it looked like what they did is they opened up the playbook and let the kid do what he wants to do. The first half looked great, and I'm just talking about the first half. The first half looked like we were actual football team in the NFL. We did not look like a peewee league. It looked really good. The Cole Kmet got some catches, finally be able to use the tight end as we're supposed to. Right. Mooney got a couple catches here and there. It looked good. It looked impressive what they were doing in the first half, putting up 21 points in the second quarter. Again, you had the Bears with Justin Fields 28 for 35. That's in total 335 in yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. We'll get to interception at the end. Khalil Herbert with 18 carries, 103 yards. That looks good. Justin Fields only ran for 25 yards. So if you put him for 25 yards on your betting app, that would have cashed in. DJ Moore, 131 yards. Look at that. If you throw to your superstar, he will produce. Cole Kmet, 85 yards with 7 catches. So he was throwing it down, little check downs. Let the big man do what he's got to do. Mooney with 4 for 51. Equanimeous St. Brown. I didn't even know he was still on the team. Got 1 for 21.
Yeah, his brother does better than him.
Oh, obviously we got the what is that called? The thrift store version of or the Wish version of the St. Brown.
Mac Lamore. Yeah,
yeah. So the first half, it looked great. I was like, I can take a little shower, get ready, halftime, come back. So I watched the third quarter, and I fell asleep in the third quarter. So I wake up and I'm like, what?
I mean, yeah, it's probably better off that you did.
No, yeah.
All right, so second down, I'm gonna kick it over to Steven. Tell me about your main points that you saw from the Bears game.
So I'm getting, and I'm, me being on social media and TikTok, the one thing that's kind of annoying me is the fact that everyone is saying how trash of an organization we are. I mean, we're not Detroit and we're not the, Cleveland Browns, obviously. But I don't have an issue, and I know it's the second half of this 4th and 1. Now, I know you shouldn't go in a shotgun position to run the ball, but you know how many times last year when they didn't go 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 and they never took the shot? So it's like, damn if you don't. Think of it this way. Russell Wilson is not a scrub. He's a Super Bowl champion, regardless of his record right now. But if we kick the field goal 3, what makes you think that he wasn't going to go down the field and get a touchdown? And then we would be in the exact same situation.
Yeah, so, but at least if you kick the field goal, you have the lead.
Yeah, for 3 points. He could have got the 3 points again and tied it or got a touchdown. He was on a roll. So I don't have this issue of like not going for it, but it's like Justin Fields did it great for his half. He's running with it. Go with the flow again. But the play shotgun position shouldn't have done that one, because then you're going back 5 yards and then you have to go and gain that back. So I get that aspect, but I don't mind the 4th and 1. They were hitting the third downs. They were going, and they took, I think, 2 other 4th and 1s early in the first half, something like that, or 1. And it's like, okay, you're doing it. Trust it. Trust your quarterback. Trust your offense, and run with it. So I don't have any issue with that. But I will say this, and I'll let Ivan go. So many people were chanting for the quarterback from. For the quarterback from from California, and they want to get the coach, the 1st-round draft pick. Apparently.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah. They were shouting that and chanting it inside Soldier Field when they were leaving. So, that's all I want to say and point out my point, because I know Ivan's he's looking red right now. If you're not watching us on live right now, but Ivan, go ahead.
No, I mean it was very frustrating to watch, because I mean, like, you knew it throughout the whole game. You just knew that they were going to find a way to get this up, and you were hoping that they wouldn't find a way to lose, and they ultimately did. And it just goes down, like, to me, it comes down to coaching and what you're preaching in the locker room. Like, some of these guys seem to hit, even the players, like the coaches and the players, seem to have taken the gas, the foot off the gas 100%. In the third quarter. They became very conservative. There was no passes thrown downfield. Well, not no passes, but there was very limited passes thrown downfield compared to the first half. And it reminded me of what we went through with Nagy, right? Where you would have these things, these good halves. You would have success here and there. And when you found success, you found a way to screw it up. You know what I mean? You found a way to revert back to old tendencies, or maybe an ego gets in the way, or maybe the offensive coordinator thought, well, hey, we're up big. Now let's try to do things, let's try to do new things, or do things that don't work, or do things that we've been trying to fix. I just think you need to stick with what's fucking working. You were able to get Justin rolling out. You're able to move the pocket. You're able to run the football, pretty well with Khalil Herbert in the first half. And it just seemed like you went ahead and made no adjustments and decided to pull back off of the aggressiveness with the play calling. And I don't understand that. With Steven's point, I agree. I don't want to go. I don't think going for it on 4th and 1 was a bad idea, or 4th and 2, or whatever it was. I don't think it was a bad idea. Again, it goes back to the play calling. Why? It goes back to the play calling. Why are you in shotgun? First of all, why is Khalil Herbert the one getting the ball? You have Justin Fields should be the guy, and it should go like this: under center, play action, boot. You either throw downfield or you run. You use your legs. You use your best athlete on the field to get you the first down.
Right. And
they just don't do that. Even going back to the one that they did pick up in the first half, they went with Cole Kmet on this fucking tight, or Tunyon. Was it Kmet or Tunyon?
It was Cole Kmet.
I think it was Kmet. Yeah. Either way, you're using your fucking tight end to pick up yards, and it just, to me, it's a slap in the face to Justin Fields, and people want to point to his turnovers and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I'm in the camp of he's still your best offensive weapon. He's still the most dangerous threat with the ball in his hands. Why can't he get this 4th and 1? Why can't he get this 4th and 2? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm looking for a change, you know, definitely a change this offseason. But like to go back to this game, this falls right on the coach. You need to make the decision. Like, you know, your defense is not good, regardless of if you're calling the plays or not. You know your defense is not good. So why are you going ahead and risking it when you're able, when you know, hey, I could go ahead and take these points. We could go ahead. You kept them at bay at least. You could go ahead and take these points, or you could go ahead and go for the win. Now, I was down for the win. It's just you limited yourself. You took yourself from so many more options with Justin Fields with the ball in his hands to now this is the only thing that we can do in this situation. Once Khalil Herbert touched that football, Khalil Herbert ran into a wall. It was a brick wall that it doesn't make sense for me to take the ball out of the playmaker's hands, and that's Justin Fields. So it was very fucking frustrating for me watching it. There was no sense of, you know, ease for me at all throughout the game. I was just sitting there like, okay, you're looking great. Justin's on fire. The team, you know, even the defense did its job in the first half.
For the first half.
But then you get to the second half and it's completely night and day. And it, like I said, it reminds me a little bit of the some of the games we dealt with during the Nagy era. It's where
adjustments done.
You're here. You either find success and your adjustments suck, or you don't find success in the first half and there's no adjustments. That's pretty much what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty much what it is right here, right now with Matt Eberflus and company. It's they either do nothing or the adjustments that they do make aren't great. So to me, it comes down to coaching. Justin Fields, with all the things that he did yesterday.
Yeah, but I only think it's the first half.
No, right, but hear me out. With all the great things that he did yesterday, he's the one that cost them the game. It came down to you making a play, right? And I've been talking about him making plays. Put the ball in your playmaker's hands. But on that last drive, you have to make sure that ball security is the number one thing. And even on the fumble, learn how to take a sack. Just take the sack.
He knows how to. He's been sacked I don't know how many times.
Right, agreed. But when it comes down to I'm trying to make a play, and is the play there? He doesn't do it. He tries to do too much in a stressful situation. And the guy was in his face. That's a player and a coaching flaw. I don't know what, and it's on Justin too to make sure. Hey, why is this guy not? Who the hell's got him? This guy's coming, you know, butt booty naked, free off the edge, right into my face. That's got to be on him too. He's got to make sure to make his calls at the line. But
he's not reading the defense.
Like I said, with all the great things they did yesterday, it still came down to him losing the game, and I can't celebrate it. There's a vote out there for him making player of the week.
Yeah,
I'm not voting for him to make player of the week, bro.
I need
to see this. I need to see this week in and week out. This isn't just a 1 week wonder thing where I'm fucking happy you threw for 300 yards finally.
As he should with the 0-3 team.
Exactly.
Who gave up 70 points.
Exactly. And I'm happy. I'm sorry. And I'm still in belief that Justin can make some strides because it's still only week 4. Or it's going into week 5. We're gonna quick turnaround here, you know, with Washington coming in.
Yep.
So there's things to build on, but you cannot be the guy that turns the ball over with 2 minutes left, with 4 minutes left, with in the fourth quarter. You can't be that guy. And that's right now.
The second time he's done
that's
that.
the label. Right now, that's the label. And
Yeah.
I support him. I support him. I hope he has success with us. I hope this, honestly, my hope is that he goes ahead and he takes off in the rest of the season. But in reality, I don't think it's going to happen. It's the best case scenario for Justin Fields to succeed, because you could go ahead and take those 2 picks that you have coming next year, yours and the Panthers, and make some real changes in player personnel. You could find some real good talent in next year's draft. So for me, I wish Justin success, but he himself was his own enemy at the end of the game.
He was his worst enemy, and in that interception, he literally said in a press conference that he wanted Cole Kmet to sit when he's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. So essentially, it was a man coverage. There's nowhere to sit in man coverage. If you're playing man coverage, the defense is right at your hip. So if he was to sit, he would be covered. And that's exactly what ended up happening. If it was zone, there's someone for your offensive player to sit in a certain, little pockets of zone that you can sneak into and just sit there and wait for the ball. And, that's what I'm saying. He can't read a defense. And how do you not read a defense, especially if you're about to throw it and you see, hey, he might be.
I think that was just communication, because they both said it. Like, he went one way, I went the other. So like there has to be a complete 100% agreement with what you're going to do with what you see out there on the field. And one guy went one way, one guy went the other. So there has to be this communication. Like, there has to be a direct, hey, I want this from Justin. Mm-hmm. Not you make up your mind. I want you to do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then
do it in the huddle, say, hey, exactly. If they play man and this is what I want you to do, and they play zone, this is what I want you to do because I'm throwing the ball at you. Simple. It is very simple. There's 2 options of I'm throwing the ball at you. It's going to be either your back shoulder or I'm throwing it right at your breadbasket, and you better fucking catch the ball and run your ass off because we're trying to win this game. Because DJ Moore is going to get double teamed. Boom. Now you know exactly what you're doing. If that doesn't work, then you can roll out and run. But the big thing with Justin Fields is that he turns his back to the defense and he wants to make that incredible play. You cannot do that backyard shit every single play. What they're doing is the defense is sitting at the ends and they're just bookending him so he doesn't get out of the pocket. They know if they keep him inside the pocket, there's pressure coming front and he's not going to be able to do anything because these guys can't get separation. So they already know what the book is on Justin Fields and how to get to him. So if you turn your back and then you do a loop and come around, guess what? That defensive end's right there to kill you. And that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. But you could still use play action and the running game to counter that. You know what I'm saying? You could, yeah, that's right. But they were doing that for about 2.5 quarters, and then they got away from that. That's the issue. Is why get away from what was successful? It's just, to me, I think Justin, I don't think it's a reading the defense issue. I think it's a confidence issue, and I think it's a communication issue with his receivers. Because like I just said, they have a plan when you go out there and you're running a route. Cole Kmet has rules, right? So if he sees one thing, he's doing this. If he sees another. But it comes down to, like you said, Justin.
I think it's all 3 of those things you said.
Justin coming down in the huddle and saying, "I want this," not 100%. What we're. I want this to Cole Kmet or whoever, and that's just. Look, he needs to learn how to be a more of a
vocal,
more of a vocal leader, more about it, more stern, more
assertive.
Assertive,
be a man.
Show some urgency with your career, because right now it's your career that you have in your hands. This next year, you could be off this team in a year. Like Justin, it's his reality. This is reality. He could be off this team in a year. So I would like to see some more urgency. Yeah, I could see it hurt him yesterday. There's reports that he just sat there in his uniform in his locker, just visibly upset.
Yeah.
These guys come from colleges. They're grow up their whole lives. They're not used to losing like this. Nobody should be fucking used to losing like this. Nobody.
Good.
It's despicable.
I'm happy he was sulking.
So
I'm happy he was.
So am I.
Right. For me, it's like he just needs to grow vocally, assertively, and like I said, step up, man, because you had a big day. It came crashing down on you. How are you going to respond in a short week? You could erase all that by going ahead and responding, well in a short week. I don't know. The Washington Commanders are a very good team right now. Chico's
great defensive team as well.
Chico's got them going. So
Chico knows how to play defense, and guess what? He can do a lot with a little bit of offense. And as you've seen this past weekend against Philadelphia, they had Philadelphia on the ropes.
They did, yeah.
Got them on the ropes, and I was scared because I had Philadelphia on like 3 or 4 parlays, and it came down to an overtime kick, right? So, do you think that we can compete with that type of fight? Because it's going to be a dogfight. Because I don't think they can score a lot of points, but I think that defense is just killer.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's gonna be like an embarrassment. It's Thursday night. When have we at last year and this year have we done well on Thursday night besides that Pats game? I don't know. I'm gonna put my money on the Commanders. What I should have done was 100%. How I did the bet with the White Sox when the Cubs were down. Put a bet and say that Broncos were gonna come back and win. I should have just done it because I felt it. It was like in my loins. But yeah,
in your loins.
In my loins. That and some booze, and I was like, man, this is gonna turn for the worst.
Speaking of booze,
and I was getting ready to already start playing Fortnite because I'm like, this is gonna happen.
Speaking of booze, that bar had to pay out everybody.
Yeah,
I wanted to do that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't do that. Like I don't know why. I mean, you might have it like that, whatever bar, you might have it like that, but like on the Bears, like that's not what you should do, bro. That's not what you should do. It should be like,
I wish we would
have
went.
An undefeated team. You should be like, hey, if this undefeated team, not from our city, loses, then we'll fucking serve free beers because the Bears are going to lose a lot more games this season.
I think that was the only one they could have won, really.
No, it's not true. It's not true. The Packers game, I think the Packers game was a winnable game. I think the Bucks game was a winnable game. This past game was definitely fucking. The only one that was a blowout in my eyes that it was going to be was the Chiefs.
Yes, it was.
Every other game, if you played, if the offense, and I know the Broncos defense sucks, but if the offense showed half of what they showed, against the Broncos, then maybe it's closer. Maybe you're actually winning one of these ball games that you lost in embarrassing fashion. But
my other thing is like Poles spent so much money and got so many defensive players, and it's like nothing shows on the defense. And then Eberflus is a defensive coach mind. So like, what is going on here?
Talent.
I think it's like
I guess fake it till you make it, but still.
And the secondary is really banged up. But I think it's still a talent issue that is and they're young. See, all the excuses are coming out, but
well, what do we spend all that money on?
They're not executing. It comes down to they're not executing. That's a coaching issue. It's like, why? Like, this is your defense coach. This is you brought in Alan Williams. It's your guy, coach. Why isn't your defense able to execute, regardless of the personnel out there? They should at least be able to be in their spots. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Yeah, I don't see the hits principle that he's been, that's philosophy that he's been praising all this.
Or how they tackle. Yeah.
It's not. I think it's.
What do you mean tackle? They don't tackle.
Yeah. That's my point. I'm saying they don't tackle. They don't know how to tackle.
Like how? And no, I know. I'm just making.
No, I agree. There's lack of talent. There is lots of injury in the secondary. It looks like we just don't have enough, and we also don't have a good coach because we don't have a defensive coordinator right now. We have a head coach putting on all the hats. Khalil Mack, 6 sacks.
Yep. Yeah.
6 sacks yesterday. Yeah. We, as a team, have 2 for the year.
Yeah. I don't.
There's like
nothing to say on that.
No, because
fucking facts. It's simple as that. Lloyd was it Lloyd Floyd? Floyd Leonard.
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. Floyd Leonard.
Floyd Leonard.
Whatever his damn name is.
Leonard Skinner, where we go.
Like all these guys that once they leave, they're like, oh my god, this is so much easier. This is such a seamless thing to do, is to play defense and sack the quarterback. And it's just I just don't know what it is about Chicago and this black hole and dark cloud above us of our sports teams, man. I just want to win. Can we just win? It's been 30, was it since 85? Was it 30 something, almost 40 years?
Yeah.
It's been long enough.
It's not that well. It's not as bad as the Cubs fans, but yeah, we're getting there.
Oh no, Cubs fan, you won in 16. We won in 05. I mean,
know, but it took 100 and something years. Okay,
108. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't want to add a number. I just want to say something so it's not doesn't sound that bad. But yeah,
generation died off
on the baseball.
Yeah, generation died off for sure.
Like before the Cubs won. So it's like, it still sucks, dude. It still sucks. You can't.
And I felt like they were gonna blow it. I knew it because I was talking in the chat. I'm like, this looks too good to be true.
Oh yeah,
and yeah. The Stephen Curtis hits again. I'm sorry.
All right. So next week in our fourth down, let's preview the Washington game. They play this Thursday. Their quarterback is Sam Howell, who went 29 for 41 with 290 yards and 1 touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr. is their main rusher with 14 carries, 45 yards. Sam Howell also had 40 yards rushing. Terry McLaurin, yeah. He has a time machine, and he had 8 receptions, 86 yards. You had Curtis Samuel with 7 with 51, and Diami Brown with 2 for 51. I mean, he spreads the ball around. He's not a really big, quarterback. He's not something that you should be scared of. But the fact that this is a quarterback you're not supposed to be scared of, and he puts 290 yards on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right. I agree. So Thursday night, I'm going to be at the bowling alley, and it's going to be like a lot of angry people there because also they're bowling like shit, and then also the Bears are getting their asses kicked at prime time. So, yeah. Oh, but our scores that we predicted, I think we all predicted the Bears to lose, but I think our scoring from last episode was
a little off,
but I think Jose was the close. Jose was the closest.
Yeah, it might have been the closest, but we're not keeping track because it doesn't.
I'd
rather the Bears win than I win a stupid, bet or something like that. I'd rather have my home team.
I don't know, man. We should start keeping. We should have kept a record.
All right.
Yeah. We should do it for next week or for Thursday. So we'll see when we call it.
Well, let's predict it now. Let's predict this.
There you go. All right, Steven, go first.
I'm gonna say I was gonna say the improper word for Washington. The Commanders. I'm gonna say 36, Bears 22.
36-22. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Commanders 31. Bears 24. 31-24.
I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Oh
shit!
And I'm gonna go just to spice and shit up because
why not?
Why not? It's gonna be like razor thin. Like I'm thinking like 1 point, like 21-20. I'll give you.
Okay.
Let's leave it like that. 21-20 on accident. You know what I mean? Let's say the Redskins have a bad game
and they double doink field goal.
Yeah.
I think Ivan watches a lot of Prices Right. He's like, yeah, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, dude, man, take. Hey, scared money don't win money. All right.
No, I agree.
I mean, but I'm terrified of taking the Bears. So I mean, trust me, like I'm doing it like reluctantly. I'm like, you know what? I just shits and giggles. Maybe I pull it off and be a winner next week.
There you go. I don't. I'm gonna probably look at the odds and bets and see what I could do and try to win some money here.
Oh yeah. I'm not betting actual money on them. Don't bet actual.
Oh, I'm gonna try, but
do not bet money on the Bears.
I'm picking. I'm picking right now. I'm picking right now solely because like I just got a gut feeling. Like I don't know. Maybe it's a bad gut feeling. Maybe it's just gas. But
maybe. What'd you have for dinner?
I don't know. I don't know. What I have? Anyway,
must have been that good, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
I have not worn one Bears thing this whole season, so I need to switch up. I can't wear my Cub stuff anymore, so yeah.
Not for a little while.
Not
I'm gonna put that in the closet.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with 3 up and 3 down. So we'll talk some baseball. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15
for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, this is comedian Ken Garr, and I was just a guest on the True Chicago Sports Fans podcast with Big Earl and G-Money and bunch of weirdos. So tune in.
Watch your mouth, cabrón.
Whoa, Martin, relax.
Martin!
I want to go see Fluffy. Hey, Ivan, you can fix this for me. I don't know what I pressed, but I pressed the thing that made my face bigger. I don't like that.
You like this?
That's my face. There we go. Much more like it. All right, let's get into some baseball in 3 up and 3 down.
I can help with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
All right, boys. I called it last week.
Shut up.
I called it 3 months ago. It will come down to that Brewers series, and I knew it. They just ran out of gas, and essentially, the hunt for Red October for the Cubs playoff push came up short. I was cheering for you guys. I really did want the Cubs to go into the playoffs because I wanted to have a winning team in Chicago to be in the playoffs, and unfortunately, that is not happening. But I checked in on Steven. He didn't respond.
No, I did not. I was like, this guy's good.
I wasn't even in. I'm like, hey, man, are you okay? I wasn't even in. So I definitely
because we were watching the game
like
on Friday.
Oh yeah, we were doing a Water Weekend podcast available everywhere. Go ahead and listen to that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna wait till the inning is over. And they went into extras. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt your mojo. I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to be blamed for it because obviously I'm not even playing, but whatever. I was like, I'm gonna wait till the inning's over, then I'm gonna leave. So I leave. I
get in the car.
I turn on my truck and I'm like, let me put the Cubs game on the radio. And the game is over. Yeah, I was like, shit, Steven.
And as soon as he got in the car and I got upstairs, I got a text from Jose. It was like, wow, that's game. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Jose, when he was here, I threw my hat against the door, and I was like so pissed because they were going back and forth and getting on base and can't move a player over from third to home, and so frustrating. And that Red October, that Cub is dead. Like that's the blood from the actual Cub. Jeez, man. And it's just like yesterday I was wearing my black Cubs jersey. And I was going around town running errands or whatnot. And I'm just like, man, I'm mourning. I'm just mourning. Like, this sucks. And then I'm in a group chat with my mom and my aunt. And we're just like, man, this is terrible. This sucks. So,
yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a few moves made. I know there's been a lot of talk about David Ross.
Yeah, I heard that.
And honestly, it's – looking what happened down the stretch, the way that they came out the gate at the All-Star break, they're on fire.
Magical.
It looked like it was turning around, and there is some good things happening with this ball club. But some of the decisions that David has made with the pitching staff and bullpen have been what has really screwed them in the end. And it came down to that. It came down to pitching and their bullpen. And you just didn't have enough in the end. And I mentioned this before. They're like, you need a guy that shuts the shit down. And look, Justin Steele, awesome. Could have won it was a Cy Young contender. Hendricks, a great pitcher. Even Stroman, great pitcher. We have a solid pitcher. But you need a guy that's boom, it's closed. We're stopping it. Like there's no more losing here when this guy's on the mound. And we don't have that guy. We don't have a big unit. We don't have
not like when we had Lester, John Mackey, Hendricks.
Yeah, we don't have that guy. We just don't have
Marietta.
Yeah, and I'm talking about a guy that can really with velocity and just power stuff. You know, it just to me, I feel like the Cubs were just never they had a good run. It was a good run, but you need to be able to have more than just a good run. And I think you need to be able to add more as far as personnel is concerned, as far as your players are concerned. Go out and get a big free agent. Go out and find some more bullpen arms. You didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, and it came back to bite you in the ass.
It did.
You know what I mean?
So I agree with you.
Really did. So I think you need to reassess what the goal is here with David Ross. Are you guys on the same page as an organization with how he's using these pitchers? And you know, old school people are going to be like, well, it's David Ross's team. Well, it's like, well, at a certain point, if David Ross's choices aren't working, then maybe it needs to be more of a collective thing. Maybe there needs to be more of the reins need to be pulled on David Ross, if you know what I mean. So I don't like the fact that he has made these mistakes. I don't want him to get fired, but it's his reality, dude. You blew a playoff run. Like you had
in a matter of 3 weeks.
In a matter of 3, it was gone. In a matter of 3 weeks, and there's a lot of decisions that came down to you that were wrong. So I don't know what to me, I don't think they will fire David Ross just because they can control him. And they hired him for a reason, and we all knew why, because they were able to. He was going to be under their control, and he was going to do what the organization wanted to do. And so far, it's got him to here. But as an organization, you can't just say, "Hey, just because he's under control, we're just going to let him go ahead and make decisions out there." It just does. If they're not working, you got to make a change.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is his first winning season too.
Yeah. Ricketts came out and said that he backs David Ross, saying he's our guy, and that's the owner.
Okay.
I mean, the GM.
If Ricketts said it, I take it as I take it with I'll see. Ricketts is a guy unlike any of the other owners. I feel like he is like there was questions about the money spending. When are we going to go out and get? And I still have these questions, but I don't think he's a guy that necessarily hides. Right, exactly. Hides from the media or what. So I could see that being truthful, but what does Jed see? What does Jed see? How does Jed see his players being used? Is it something that he approves of? Is it something he doesn't approve of? I want to know what Jed Hoyer thinks of some of these decisions that David has made and have not been successful for the Cubs. And there's been an overuse of Mark Leiter Jr., even though he was on fucking fire this season. But if it wasn't Mark Leiter, exactly, Jose. Right. On the mound every day, your arm's gonna fall the fuck off.
That's why he got injured.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, the pitchers were way overused, and as it was, you had a thin bullpen. You had a bullpen that was not touted as being one of the good ones. You literally had a bunch of injuries. Then you had injuries to the starting pitching. So now the bullpen is getting overtaxed. And I really think that sometimes you may either be too close or too far to the situation. I know he was a former catcher, but at the same time, there's a difference when you're catching and your pitching squad and your pitching staff, and you're like, yeah, he doesn't got it today. And then tells the manager, no, he's done. Rather than seeing it from 40 feet. I want to know that too. It's like,
are the calls coming in from you, David, or the calls coming in, or is Jan making the calls? Is Miguel making the calls?
Mm-hmm.
Are you calling for Miguel and not for Jan? Like, what is going on with I understand the how they call it nowadays. No fingers, just
eyes. You got to blink. Yeah, that's what it is. You got to blink.
Thumbs, right? You got to blink they blink really fast.
Yeah.
Morse code that shit up there. But no, but yeah, I don't.
And I agree with you. I think
I don't know what's going on with the decision making
for the games that I did watch for the Cubs, when it was Amaya or when it was Yan Gomes, those games were called differently.
They were. Differently. I agree with you. I never noticed that until you pointed that out.
Gomes, it was a little bit way more aggressive, and you had Yan Gomes going up there and actually, nurturing that staff. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go up there and calm you down a little bit, and then come back and get his pitching staff to do what he wanted to do. With Amaya, obviously, because he's a little younger, he doesn't have that control. He doesn't have the assertiveness to call a game when you have a veteran.
But that's my point, Jose. Is how do you know that? How do you know that if you're the one calling the game for him? If you're the one calling the game for him, if he's calling games for Miguel Amaya, and I got to go. I have to look back at the stats, and I got you have to do your own research on this because
right.
There's a lot of numbers, and you got to dig into it and see how they were down the stretch, how they were used in certain patterns. But just the overusage of guys and the way that some of Miguel, like you said, the way that some of Miguel Amaya starts ended up and played out, it's just like, damn, it feels like there was a back and forth, or there was a guiding hand involved in what was going on. I might be absolutely 100% wrong, but I know they're two different catchers, and I know Jan's the veteran, but forgive me if I'm wrong. I could see David Ross trying to have a little more control over Miguel Amaya starts as opposed to Yan Gomes.
Right.
I can agree with that because just from seeing it on the south side where you had Yasmani Grandal, he's supposed to be a great catcher when he came in. He's been nothing but hot garbage, calling garbage games, and then young kid over here, the three backups that we had have called better games with all of our pitchers. So sometimes it's pitchers have their catchers, and sometimes when you don't have a catcher that you like that you can trust to make these calls, it goes awry. And it's right. Like yesterday on Sunday you had Smiley. I would have not trusted Smiley on the mound.
I don't
for the last game. Yeah,
I wouldn't. I haven't trusted Smiley since the break. Really, since he got moved to the pen.
Right.
Smiley as a starter was not good this year, and as a bullpen pitcher was not good. Actually, he was worse than.
Yeah, no one's definitely smiling. That's for sure.
Hilarious. No.
I actually canceled Marquee Network yesterday. Actually,
good for you.
I canceled it because I'm like, oh, it's due the 7th, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch Sunday's game. Doesn't even matter. Don't even care. I saw the highlights, barely, whatever highlights there were, but I canceled it. I saved myself $20, and I'll wait till next season when the price hikes up, and I'll be like maybe $30, unfortunately. But I'm pretty bummed out. But I hope they spend money for the bullpen and get a nice closer, and maybe get a first baseman.
I think
and third. But still, there's a lot of things that need to be filled. We're not completely off. We're there, but we just need maybe like 5 more things. Is that too much to ask? 5? Maybe.
Well, every team is going to go out and try to get bullpen arms. And as the beginning of the season it starts, you have no idea how these bullpen arms are going to pan out. That's why the trade deadline, that is the most expensive, and that's one of the most acquired thing is bullpen arms. So can you get a proven player? Yes. But look at what the White Sox did and got Joe Kelly, and he just shit the bed. You don't know what's going to happen with bullpen arms. They're so unpredictable.
The Cubs did that with Brandon Morrow.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ivan, do you think Bellinger is going to stay a Cub?
I hope. I think you have to make at least test the waters on him, because you brought him in here for this specific reason, to see if you could strike gold.
Right.
And you did. You fixed. He got healthier. He got stronger, and he was damn near. He was in the MVP, considerations for most of the season, on fire. After a slow start, but right now, I feel like you might have to go ahead and just go pay Cody Bellinger. You
Right.
can't let guys walk, especially if you're going to go ahead and preach. We're trying to contend. You
Right.
can't tell me you're trying to contend, even as good as Pete Crow Armstrong might be. You can't tell me you're trying to contend and throw away a guy who was in the MVP consideration a year ago. It just
Right.
doesn't make sense to me. It reminds me of like
Spend the money.
bringing up Felix P.A. Or
Yeah.
Corey Patterson not ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that reminds
Mike
me of that.
Fontenot.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you mentioned Mike Fontenot, but
I don't know. I was on my mind like Ryan Theriot lately, but yeah, not
All
like
right,
that. But they've been
Right.
in there.
But yeah, but specifically Corey Patterson and Felix P.A. because they were center fielders, young. They were supposed to be, they were on fire in the minor leagues, and then they got pushed in too soon. That you could clip that if you want. And they got put in too soon, and they just blew it. They weren't the guys. So I don't want to see that done to PCA. You have a veteran and an MVP contender in Cody Bellinger.
Pay the
Go
man.
after him.
Pay the man.
Yeah, I think you have to go in on Bellinger. He's been one of your main cogs in the offense and on defense. I mean, he's just been a great player and a great asset to Chicago Cubs this year on a proven year. So that is the type of player that you need on a day in, day out basis. Where you need more out of your shortstop and Dansby Swansea, whatever his face is.
Dansby Swanson.
You need better.
He's fancy.
His defense was above average this year, and his bat was okay. And
It was average.
Yeah, we need more. And that's the thing coming out of Atlanta when they, when we were doing a scouting report, that's the thing. He would go into slumps for long slumps, and then he would be hot for a couple weeks. So he's very hilly up and down. You need a more consistent. Seiya Suzuki showed up the last 40 days of the season, but he didn't show up for the first 120 though. Like you can't have that.
But he needs to get sunglasses when he plays at Milwaukee.
So you
He
think
needs to get sunglasses?
LASIK, he needs all of that. You know what? We'll trade you for Eloy. You can have Eloy.
No, I don't want anyone germs from the south side. Definitely don't want any contamination.
Now you want to trade Eloy. Now you want to, first it was thanks Cubs, and now you want to trade Eloy.
Did you like the meme I sent you about the Marlins? Like all those players in the White Sox pushed.
Obviously,
oh my god!
Berger, David Robinson. Who was the other one?
Yeah, all I gotta say is like that's another thing where it's like the White Sox were terrible, then they trade him to Florida, and there you go. They find the light that's in their eyes, the spark of fire that they love baseball again, and this is what happens.
Oh, Johnny Cueto.
There you
Johnny
go.
Cueto, who had a phenomenal season for them last season, and they just let him walk.
Well, dude, I don't think Johnny Cueto wanted to be there. He was even pointing out. He was pointing out.
He was calling out motherfuckers. He was because he was going up and down the stairs. That was part of his pregame routine, running up and down the stairs. And he's like, "Hey, Eloy, get your ass up here." And he's like, Eloy's like, "No, I don't want to do that. That looks hard. No."
Dude,
don't tell me he said that. He said that.
He said that looks hard.
Get the hell, man. Mr. Glass should be the first one running up there trying to get stronger.
Watch him slip and shit.
That's crazy. You just imagine telling a World Series champion, "Hey, you know what? Nah,
I'm good.
I'm good, bro.
I'm good.
You haven't won shit. Nah, I'm good."
No, yeah, that's why Cueto did. He saw the writing on the wall. He saw
too many empanadas. Too many empanadas.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like too many rice and beans, bro.
Not the potato ones. The ones with got in there with meat.
Yeah, with the meat in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
they're pretty good though.
Speaking of the White Sox.
Oh, we gotta talk about them.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
White Sox. Let's hear it.
Go White Sox.
Let's hear it. Where's it at?
It's gotta be here.
I want to hear it.
It's gotta be here.
I want to laugh right now. Give me something to smile about.
Let's go.
To smile about. There we go.
White Sox.
Yeah.
White Sox.
Oh,
White Sox.
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
Oh my god.
That was the last time they were good.
Did you didn't play the whole song, jerk?
I'm not gonna play the whole song. I'm not wasting our airtime on that.
Oh man, that's
The White Sox with the second worst record in team history.
say it again.
Yeah.
Worst record in team history. The last time they lost more than 101 games was 1970. 1970 with 106 losses.
And they only won 61 times. So my bet that we would have kept going was there. I was on it by 4 games.
Hey, quiet peanut gallery. You're on the bench sitting next to me.
Hey, but we got farther. We're above
Hey, bro.
average here.
Hey, like
There's a
Vin
distinct
Diesel said,
difference between the
winning
two.
is winning.
Yes, but there's a distinct difference between the two, or honestly, between the two organizations right now, because
Yeah,
like
I've
our
said it before.
owner,
You can play-
our owner, I could see after all this, after they've built Rickettsville, after they've built this pretty much.
He's like the Walt
redone the
Disney of
stadium.
Wrigleyville.
Honest to God,
Yeah.
after all this, now I could see after this year, money going into the like. There's no excuse that after this year you can't be putting money into the ball club. And I mean, free agents like Steven said, a third baseman, a first baseman, a pitcher who strikes fear in motherfucker. I need that. If you're going to keep preaching, we want to contend. We're contending. Like this is the year. Actually, 2024 was the marked year, I believe.
Yes, it was.
That they targeted to be real contenders. So you had your 2015 and it wasn't exactly 2015, but you had your little up here. Everybody, you're on the. To me, people have to be looking at your team to take another step next year around the league, because you have talent, but you're gonna have to spend to get to the next level, in my opinion. Because
they will.
You don't want I don't think every one of their farm system guys are gonna hit. I don't think every one of them they're trying to bring up.
They're ranked number 3, I believe, in top farms.
Right, but I think some of those guys are going to want to be kept, especially with trade bait, and even if, maybe not trade bait, maybe they are trying to keep them here and develop them and bring them up to the big ball club. But for me, I don't think they're going to go ahead and use their farm system as a means to get where they want to be, like they did the last time to try to win a World Series. I think they're going to go ahead and spend the money in free agency. They're going to hold on to a lot of their guys in the farm system come the next couple of maybe not the next couple, maybe this one they go ahead and they move somebody, but I don't think it's going to be as frequent as people think, where they go ahead and they're really aggressive trying to go after a World Series like that. I think that way I think the way that they did it last time, it was a cautionary tale to them, and they're not going to do it again, because after that it was depleted. Like you had pretty much nobody else. Like you had Gleyber Torres in there, but I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy for the World Series, but I don't think you want to go down that road again.
Right.
No, I think they'll spend money. It's just we'll see what goes on with what their needs are going to be. Right. You might lose Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, but I could see that being a possibility. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but I could see that happening, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I could also go ahead.
Where do you think Yohan Moncada is next year?
I don't think he's going to be with us either.
Why not?
I don't know.
He's definitely going to be with us, because no one's going to want that contract that he has. He gets. I can pull up his contract in a second. I think he's great defensively. I just don't think he can stay healthy. He's another Mr. Glass who is worried about his image and making music videos rather than working on his offense. And he's gonna play the victim, saying, "Oh, COVID and this and that," and it's like, hey man, how many excuses you got? It's your back, it's your hamstrings. That just tells me you're not stretching, you're not taking care of your body. That's what that tells.
Too much salsa at the club, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. That boy is out partying. And if you
I mean, if he wants to party,
you don't have hair like that. You don't have hair like that, and don't go out partying and shit. You don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like he is dapper in his appearance, but you suck at your play. He reminds you of what's his name, Dorn. from Major League. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a little money, and all of a sudden, like you're too good to go ahead and get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see Yoan Moncada.
Yeah, so it looks like he's making what, 18 million next year? Yeah, no one's gonna want that. 18 million for what he hit, like 8 home runs or something like that. Nothing. I mean, Berger had what, 30 home runs. This kid had.
Yeah.
What is this stat?
Even as a burger special, son of a gun.
You think?
Yeah, that's good marketing right there.
We'll tell you, that was a layup. Same thing like with Cleo Mack. He could have been sponsored by McDonald's, had a Mac Attack meal or some shit like that. Where's this home runs? Let's see. No, at bats, hits. 11 home runs. I wasn't too far off. He probably hit
because he said 8. So yeah, you're not off.
Yeah. So no, there's no reason. Like, I love his defense. I think he's a magician at third. But can he stay healthy is the question. And it's like, what do you do with someone who plays 80 games, maybe 100 games? What do you do with somebody like that making so much money? No one's going to want that. He signed a 5-year, $70 million contract, $70 million contract with the White Sox, including a $4 million signing bonus. He's guaranteed at least $14 million per year. He's making 17 this year, with the extra bonus, 17.8. So he is until 2025. So he's got 2 years left with the White.
You're stuck with him.
Unless some team goes down early and is missing a third baseman that they can flip for some low-level prospects, it's not going to happen, because that way you can get some prospects and some relief on the salary cap. It's very difficult with how they're set up right now, because they paid all of their players super early, and trying to cash in, on their young success. And it just hasn't panned out for the White Sox. They took their shot. Rick Hunt and Kenny Williams took their shot in that way, and it ended up costing their job. It's very simple. They lost their job. Right now, season's over. Chris Getz, a new GM. He was asked about Pedro Grifol, and he says it's too early to talk about that right now, even though in his press conference when he got hired, he's saying Grifol's going to be the manager coming forward. No, he shouldn't be. He should not be the manager going forward. You wipe the slate clean. Wipe the slate clean. Go get the magic eraser, that bouncy.
Wipe your ass clean. Clean it out. Clean house, and there you go.
Exactly. You have to wipe your ass clean with that. And it's just between Javi Baez and Tim Anderson, some of the worst shortstop play I've seen in years.
One of them is a World Series champion, but I get what you mean. After he left the Cubs, of course, then Detroit and New York. So it wasn't that good.
If I'm looking at next year, you're looking at first base is pretty good. Vaughn hit a good amount of home runs. He plays pretty good at first base. You keep him there. We still have a hole at second. Tim Anderson has 1 year left, which is next year. They'll pick up his option and then probably trade him in the offseason, maybe in the winter meetings. I don't know, but you don't have an answer behind him. Excuse me, third base we just talked about.
You have a lot of potholes in your team. Like, there's no up there.
That's because of Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams.
Oh.
You could have still had Tatis. You could have had Tim at second and Tatis at short. I'm just saying. You could have had that.
I agree with you.
And if you would have had that tandem, I'm pretty sure we would have a lot of problems in the clubhouse, but on the field, I think they would have been magnificent. So, I mean, if you're looking, the White Sox should go after Jock Peterson. They've always wanted Jock Peterson. It's just the fact that he's taking larger amounts of money somewhere else.
And they don't spend money.
They don't. And that's the problem. I mean, Chris Getz was told that he was going to be able to spend money within reason, is what he was told.
Well, within reason is like, hey, you got $50, but you're only going to be able to spend 20 of it. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, it's like a parent. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at free agents, I mean, Miguel Cabrera. No, Miguel Cabrera is retired, so let's not even look at that. Ohtani, don't even mention your name with the White Sox. Stroman, I think Stroman could be somebody the White Sox can target as far as a pitcher for the back end. Joey Votto at first base, no, not at all. Kershaw, nope, way too expensive. Charlie Morton, too old. Let's see. Jock Peterson, I said we should go after. Lance Lynn, nope. Grandal, nope. Conforto, nope. Hendricks has a club option for 15 million, and I don't even think he is going to pitch next year. I think he's going to take the White Sox money and say thank you very much, and at the end say see you later. I'm going to go to a contender. I'm looking at these names. There's really not a lot that I would go after. Maybe Julio Urias, but didn't he have a case against him?
I think so.
Isn't he in jail? Yeah, isn't he already in jail?
Yeah, so I don't think you're going to be able to cite somebody from jail. What's his name? What's his name? The other guy that for the Dodgers, who
The one with the glasses, right?
No, the one that goes on YouTube all the time. He has a case that the girl that's trying to take all his money.
Oh, you're talking about Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer. He just got that case just got dropped, and he went on YouTube and explained exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Take a shot. Take a shot at him.
Trevor Bauer, hell yeah. Look,
that boy can pitch.
Look, whatever you want to say morally about Trevor Bauer, I mean, okay, fine.
Shit,
apparently, it doesn't look like he did anything wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, under the context of the law, he didn't do anything wrong, and you're pretty much blackballing him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You're blackballing him for no reason whatsoever.
Holding them tight too.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because of the image you're trying to portray, but that was nobody's business but his anyway. It's not Major League Baseball's business. This woman dragged them into it, and once they found out, it's like you're mad about his personal life. Like, what is keeping Major League teams from going after? I mean, he is a talent. He has some, personality. He could rub people the wrong way. We'll say it like that.
Right. You need a strong manager for that shit. You can't have our boy down there with him.
Right. You can't deny the talent, and you can't deny that he's innocent of any crime. Like
wrongdoing. Yep.
As soon as that is heard, I'm at least going ahead and talking to his manager and saying, hey, what's the deal? Talk to him, see how he is, where he is mentally, see if he, if this is what he wants to, you got to go ahead and try to see if the guy is right mentally, want to pitch in the major leagues again and want to be a part of your team. But, from what I see, the guy, exactly. From what I've seen, the guy never not wanted to be in the major leagues. He never left him. So it was all bullshit. And I think Trevor Bauer deserves the job. And the White Sox could be the perfect target because if he goes and lights it up the first half, you got a trade piece.
You flip them and you flip them fast.
There you go.
I agree.
Thank you. You're back. See you later.
Yeah.
That's it gets you somewhere, especially if he turns it on, at least some type of form from what he was.
Would you want to bring back Mike Clevenger on the south side?
I think so. I mean, why wouldn't you?
$12 million 1 year.
Who's your best pitcher down the stretch?
That's the option,
Was he not your best pitcher down the stretch? I mean, even how bad you guys were.
He had one great outing where he almost had a no-hitter. He ended up with a shutout. And then he had 2 bad starts, 1 good one, and then the last 2 were bad. But I don't even blame him for that just because there's no defense behind him. There's no offense to help him out. And he was probably like, I don't care anymore. Let me just go out there and do my job and just get out of here. But he did say he liked playing here. He liked his teammates, and he does want to come back. At $12 million, I think that's a pretty good steal. He is 32, going to turn 33 next year. I think, 1 year is great. And there's another trade piece if he pitches well next year. So, again, I think what the White Sox should be doing is signing some of these players, kind of like your Cody Bellinger, where you can give me that one prove-it year. And if they prove it, great, flip them and get something else because you're a long way from winning any championship. Your window is shut. It's nailed down. It's been boarded up, and then they put bricks on the outside. You're not getting out through that window. It is done. I think they should also go after Jorge Soler. He'll be 32 next year. He has a player option with Miami for $9 million. I think he'll decline it and test free agency. but you can get him for 2 years, 30 million, 35 million. I know he's another DH, but that's what the White Sox do. They sign DHs.
I would stay away. I mean, Jorge Soler would be a nice piece to a contending team. Jorge Soler, I don't think, like I said, he'd be another addition, especially if nobody wants to pick him up right away for whatever reason. I mean, he'd be a nice piece to trade, but I don't know. I think Jorge Soler would stay away from the White Sox, in my opinion. He's two-time World Series champion. He's won the Marlins when they're in the playoffs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't see why Jorge would go ahead and be like, oh, you know what? I'll go to this dysfunctional White Sox team, for a year. even if it was for a year, it's like you're just wasting a year of your career, wasting time on the south side of Chicago, because that's what it would be to me.
Yeah, I only say him if the White Sox give him the most money, which I don't. They won't do. So I still think, like, I know you took a little break, but I still think we need to get a manager that has some cojones, some guy who's gonna put this team into shape. And if you have,
do you see anyone?
I haven't gone that route yet, because I think Terry Francona is retiring. The manager of the Mets is leaving. I think he's retiring too. So there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, Dave Kapler just got fired, I believe. The Angels manager got fired.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that are out there, but there's no big name like I want that. I mean, there's
I would say probably don't go after guys that just got fired.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. And I don't mean it tongue in cheek. The way that they ran their ball clubs, you need somebody who has had success, or at least, if you're going to go the young route, who can command, who has that, not over authority, like where you're just authoritarian and you're just brutal, but you have to have that assertiveness, that Ozziness, if you will,
right,
to go ahead and shape up a locker room, especially if there's cliques, fractures, shit talking,
bruises,
all that types of shit. You have to have a guy that goes in there and is able to control grown men.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a name, Sandy Alomar Jr.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't.
He's been a bench coach. He's been a base coach. He just, every time he interviews, what the word on the street is that he interviews poorly.
Well, that's a number one fear in most people nowadays, and can't interview. So, I get it.
You're stupid. I just think I need someone like that. Who else? You got Willie Harris, who was with the White Sox organization.
Stay the fuck away from Willie Harris. All right, you do not come after Willie Harris.
He actually coached a lot of our minor league team and made them winners when they were down there. He did. And that's why the Cubs said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna hire Dave Ross, but we'll give you a position up here." Great guy, great coach. I think that's someone right there that not only has White Sox ties, has a name, plays baseball the right way, and also has the balls to tell you how it is. I think he would be a great hire for the White Sox. I think he would great name. And then you can start getting some of these veterans to sprinkle in to kind of complement this team and shape it. Either you're going to, I don't know if the old man wants to win within 2 years, because I don't know how long he's going to live, or are we going to a full rebuild? Are we taking this down to the studs? Are we just putting some spackle on it? Throwing some paint on it, like, they in those houses you get to, and you're like, oh my god, they painted over the light covers. They didn't even take those fuckers off. They painted over the roaches. It's bad. It's just bad, and I think there's a lot of change. There has to be a culture change, and I don't know. I don't know. No one knows about Chris Getz. We don't know if he's going to be a yes man, or if he's going to, put his stamp on this team. But there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of good veterans out there that you can sign to plug up some of the holes in the ship while it's sinking. So there's a lot for the White Sox to digest. And you know what? We just have to put the bow on the baseball season for the 2023 season. So before we finish with the baseball, Ivan, are you watching any other baseball team? Are you cheering for another baseball team?
To be honest with you, the Orioles. I think the Orioles, the story, the way that, if you remember, I remember 2016, I think was like one of the last times they were in the playoffs. Like, it was either 2016 or 2015. Chris Davis was going off, like they were contending, but then they were just abysmal for years. And I'm talking about 100 losses multiple years in a row, farm system that didn't seem like it was going to figure anything out. And, honestly, I think the Orioles, the way that they turned it around, Brandon Hyde, former first base coach for the Cubs, I'm happy for. He has his ball club humming. They got big time talent, and they're playing, great baseball. So for me, I like the Orioles. I know they're the number 1 seed. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they're the 1 seed overall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Overall, okay, yeah. Even though they're the front runners, they haven't been the front runners, in a long time.
Right.
So I'm really, happy that they've gotten shit together, because watching it, it's like they went from up here, where they were making strides, to just what the hell happened, and they fell off the face of the map. So I don't wish 108 years on anyone. So I like the faster you get it together is a positive. So and they're in the American League, so they could they're fucking up the White Sox.
There you go. Yeah,
we're not even in it.
I know, but I mean,
matter.
throughout the year,
the Orioles kicked everybody's ass. All right, Steven, anybody you're cheering for?
I want to say Texas Rangers.
You both went with opposite leagues. That's fun.
Yeah, because we hate everyone in the NL because we're not in it. Why would you cheer for anyone in there? Me and Ivan are always on the same page. Like, it's just, that's how it is.
Well, you know what? It sounds like you two are going to have a bet. If Texas gets in, because Tampa's a motherfucker, right? If Texas gets in, I'm looking forward to a sandwich bet, maybe.
Oh,
hey, you got to pay your bets first, okay? You can't be making bets when you ain't paid.
I told you this week, sir.
We could wager some real things.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
like what kind of sandwiches?
I think they'll have to meet in. No, I'm pretty sure they meet in the.
They're the Orioles next round. So it's
the next round. Okay, so yeah,
right.
so next round, yeah. If they make it to the next round, okay, I'm down.
Okay. Everybody knows who I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for the Dodgers.
Atlanta. Oh, sorry.
I've always loved Atlanta, but I'm cheering for my Dodgers. Hey, I'm cheering for the Marlins.
Oh.
I would cheer for the Marlins, but I'm a little salty right about now because that's the second time that they've hurt the Cubs. So
no, the Cubs hurt themselves. They played 4-6 in the last 10 games.
All right, Jose. I'm just saying because I don't want to feel the burn.
They also beat us in a 1-game playoff, I believe.
Yeah.
Back in 18, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Somewhere around. Somewhere where we screwed the pooch again. You know what I mean?
Why do you bullshit?
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Is there anybody who see running the gambit? Calling it early. Got to call it early.
If I was gonna say it, I think they're Brewers. To be honest with you,
the boring Brewers to make way. Wow.
I just have this feeling because like they're gonna go for a run. I don't know why. It's just this gut feeling.
So the Brewers have a losing record in LA. They don't play well in the West Coast.
Right.
So that might be one of the factors. To be honest with you, I don't see nobody. I would love to see the Orioles and the Braves.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Two great stories. The Orioles coming back from the ashes, and then you have the defending champion waiting for them. For me, that'd be a great story.
That's a good one. I like that. I think a team that you need to look out for is the Marlins. Like 100% is the Marlins.
Yep.
Like, look, man, this team reminds me of like those teams where it's like, oh yeah, they all of a sudden they're really, really good. You know what I mean? And they're in the World Series. And
same thing with the Diamondbacks.
They
got hot.
The Diamondbacks. Yeah, the Diamondbacks. Yeah, the Diamondbacks as well. I don't see this year's Diamondbacks.
Maybe next year, but yeah, I don't think so. So
I don't mind getting some Marlins gear either. I like their gear.
Of course you don't.
Oh, I'm gonna wear it. I'll buy some and wear it just to your house.
Whatever, dude. If the listeners aren't watching us on on video, me and Ivan are shaking our heads like, all right, dude. whatever.
It's okay. It's like it's still fresh for you guys. I get it. I was there in April when it was fresh.
That's the beginning of the season. I don't know what you're talking about. Fresh. Yours is like rotten, spoiled by now.
After that 10-game losing streak, I knew it was done already. I knew we had no chance.
I'll tell you this though, I'm taking 3 days of PTO for opening day. The day of, and then the day before, and the day after. Like that's how I'm gonna have to do that.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's on I think it might be on a Wednesday, to be honest with you.
They always open on a weekday.
Yeah.
Let's finish up this baseball segment, and then we'll get into stirring the pot and what you're looking at. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kicking it over back to Big Z. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Check out the show every single Monday. You know where to find us on No Water on the Weekend, baby.
That's right. That's right. Where can they find you? Is that on every single platform?
Every platform. If you don't have a platform, just send me a DM. Tell me where to find me, and I'll tell you. Apple, Spotify, anywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm Batman.
Okay, Thanos.
What pot we
All
spilling?
right, guys. You know
I'm hungry.
It's that time again. It is time for stirring the pot. All right, boys. I mean, I'm trying to find a food. Do you guys have a food? Or I have one in my pocket, but all right, go ahead, Stevie B. What do you got for us?
All right, so it's crazy, and I got lucky. Okay, it is October, right? So these Skittles here are Halloween themed. So they actually have Ratted Raspberry, Ghostly-ish Green Apple, Citrus Scream, and Shocking Lime. So, beware if you dare. So I think they're a little sour too. So I like them, and they're pretty good.
You've already had them?
Oh, they actually gave me 2 bags when I only wanted 1. So I started eating one, and they're delicious.
Well, okay, we know what Steven's eating for his Halloween candy, but Ivan, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy? Man, I'm honestly
Almond Joy, Grand Bar.
No, not
Black Licorice.
I like those. You're just naming any candies.
I'm naming terrible candies.
Black licorice is disgusting.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Almond Joy is great. 100 grand is pretty good.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I don't know, man. Like a Twix, like it's just candy. Like to me, I like them all.
If you listen to No One on the Weekend, we talk about Halloween candy.
You know what candy? Like honestly, the Mexican candies really have been.
No, you lost me there. I never had any of those.
Anything with like a mango and some picante on their shit, dude. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm down. Like that's like those have swiftly become like one of my favorites. Like above like a chocolate or like a Skittles or some shit.
Well, I want American candies.
Well, you're stupid, Steven. Ivan, this is what you can do. You can dress up as a Bears fan and go down 18th and 26th Street, and you'll get a lot of mango candy, sir.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Wear a vest if you go.
I like how Steven is just forgot about his culture.
I didn't forget about it. I didn't forget about it. It's just they usually don't welcome me in there. It's like no shoes, no shirt service when I walk in. This guy's coming in.
No, they're like, hey, put
With
some
his
clothes
Aaron
on.
Crombie's
They're like,
cologne and
clothes on, dude.
his
What are you doing?
Not in Boys Town, put some clothes on.
Put some clothes on, dude. It wasn't a metaphor. It was real life.
This guy smells like $100.
Yeah,
not 100 pesos. You know what I mean? So
it's like 50 cents now. I've got to go with my two classics and
Reese's Pieces.
I was gonna say Kit Kat. Kit Kat's my favorite candy bar, but Reese's Pieces, the little ones, number two for sure.
I know you.
Okay, keep your clothes on. All right, before we go, boys, what you watching that isn't sports?
Ivan, go ahead. Take it away, man.
That isn't sports. My kids.
Jeez.
I mean, other than that, like, to be honest with you, I don't. It's actually I was watching at work because there's some downtime later in the night, so I could just like have my little have my phone, just kind of sit there. But
mode.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just chilling and watching. I've been watching I watched every Blade, like all three Blades.
Okay.
I watched. I watched. There's something about Mary. Yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
I've been catching up on some of the classics here, and when I'm chilling at work, when I got nothing to do on break and shit. So.
Okay.
Steven, what you watching?
Gen V. It's a spinoff of The Boys on Amazon Prime. There's only 3 episodes right now because they release it weekly. So I thought they actually put out the whole thing. If you do watch it and you're an adult with kids, even though it's a college, I would say watch it by yourself.
Yeah.
You see something. If you've seen The Boys, you kind of see some things in Gen V. So I watched that and The Rookie. Still watching The Rookie, the cop show. Even though it's like kind of old, and pretty much that's it. Rewatching a lot of old shows too, like in the background, stuff like that. But Gen V is actually really good. And it's like 8 years prior to The Boys. So you see A-Train in the beginning, like having a soda pop and or a soda and getting inducted into the 7. So
gotcha.
It's very interesting.
Nice.
And you still have some of the casts or cast actors and actresses who were like in The Boys and are still in there. Even like in the first season with the mother, the blonde, the one who was like CEO, I believe. She's like called back in there. So it's pretty cool. I recommend it.
Love it.
What are you watching?
You know what? I really haven't got to watch a lot, but I did watch the Toy Story version of the NFL game this Sunday.
That's sports.
I'm just saying it was pretty awesome. Other than that, I did.
Did you like it though?
I thought it was cool. It's a cool revelation, especially when Bijan just shook that dude out of his shoes, and it showed up that way exactly on the Toy Story game.
Nice
presentation.
I like the Nickelodeon one better though, but yeah, it was nice. I did like it.
I really like the Nickelodeon.
Honestly, like that technology that they use for that Toy Story, if they improve it, because it was awesome the way it was, I was like, this is fucking dope. But if they can improve that, because like sometimes there was like if they kicked the ball, if they punted the ball, the ball would do some crazy, like it would just left turn, like an immediate left turn off of his foot, and I'm like, damn, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell's going on? But if they could,
were your kids entertained?
My son was sitting there watching that thing for a while. As soon as he saw the screen, he saw Toy Story, then he saw Slink, and then he saw like players running around like like little toys. He was locked in for at least a good quarter and a half.
That's more than enough.
He was one. Like, he was just sitting there like entertained, just okay. I mean, obviously he went ahead and changed his mind because he's a kid, but it took he was locked in for a while. I was impressed.
There you go.
I caught up on my shows. I caught up on Bill Maher because of the writer's strike. The strike was is coming to an end, so he was able to come back on. And the what is the other one? The why can't I think of him? So Bill Maher and I can't think of his name. So the two talk show hosts, that's pretty much what I've watched. Other than that, I have Sopranos in the background at all times just because.
On deck, always.
That gabagool.
You gotta get the gabagool.
Gabagool on deck.
Yeah. So I mean, this. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched the entire series.
That's great.
But it's just one of those phenomenal shows. So, that's about it. So, if you got any show recommendations, any food recommendations, we'd love to have those. I did go to the White Sox game for the 100th loss.
Nice.
That was nice.
It was because you know what? I didn't watch none of the game. I didn't watch anything of the game. I got there for the tailgate, for the food downstairs, the patio. Had a great time down there, and then I looked up at the screen. It was still the first inning. It was 4-0? Yeah. I was like, we're staying down here until we get kicked out. Let's keep drinking.
Oh yeah.
And by the time I walked out, it was 6-0. I was like, let's walk around one time, and then we're gonna head out. Thanks, guys.
See you next year.
I went for the bobblehead. I told you guys last week. I went straight for the bobblehead. I got my bobblehead, and that was all I cared about.
To be honest, I'm gonna go after. I'm gonna try to go after some White Sox bobbleheads next year. To be honest with you, because I don't know. I've had this little bobblehead fever after I got the Ernie Banks one. So
just get the pops, man. Get the pops.
That's cheating, man. You got to go to the game. You got to go. You got to do the road work, Stephen. God, man.
You know what? I'm just gonna
be somebody. Be somebody. Do the work.
Yeah, Stephen's gonna buy it off somebody off on eBay.
Hey, you're the one who bought it off a kid when we were there for the Indiana Jones one. So don't give me that.
That guy had 7 kids. That had 7 kids. There's no reason to have fucking 9 bobbleheads of the same shit.
Yeah, because if he got pissed off, he just takes it outside and smashes it with a bat. Stress release here, Jose.
Not my problem. Not my problem. Should have given him a couple rubbers for it. All right, y'all.
That kid was 5.
That is it for today. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at the checkout for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Get your shirts now. Check out the rest of the 606 Media lineup. The newest show, it is No Water in a Weekend with Steven and Sean.
Yeah, every Monday.
He gets mad when I say Sean and Steven. A pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny videos, trivia, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. New episodes every single Monday on all of your podcast formats. Ivan, tell them where they can find the Tape Never Lies Network.
You can find us at www.thetapeneverlies.com. You can find us on our YouTube channel at The Tape Never Lies. Also on X and on Facebook. Just look us up, The Tape Never Lies. Also, I'm on X as well, IvanV_TTNL.
That's right. All right. For the audio version, shout out to Ronesh, Panic, and Serious Beats and Custom Made for the beats we're playing on today's show. Check out paniconabeat.com for your moment merch and gear. Check us out on social media, True Shy Fans. I'm sorry, it's TCSF Pod on the X now. You can find us on Facebook, obviously, because you're watching us here, but True Chicago Sports Fans. And you can email us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right. For Stevie B and Ivan, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time for episode 164. And until then, be good to each other for the love.